Okay, so we're gonna jump to Zander, prepared scout, and this is the scout you were talking about. Um,
Yeah.
on enter, glimpse 2, which is scry 2. Put a preparation counter on Xander. To glimpse, look at that many cards on the top and put those on cards back on top or the bottom of your deck in any order. Again, it's scry from Magic. Real plain and simple. I do like I like that mechanic. Like scry's a great mechanic.
Oh yeah. Scrying's always good. Getting to set your deck and choose when you get what is always powerful.
Agreed. And yeah, or just putting cards you don't want at the bottom. It's just like everything it does is just so good.
Or putting cards that you don't want on the absolute top so that you can throw them into your material deck and get rid of them.
How do you throw them in your material deck?
Like, I mean, if you leave it on top, you're drawing it at the beginning of each turn, so you're going to draw it after you play this card.
Oh,
Whatever you
yeah.
put on top of your deck, you're going to draw. So if you get two misses, you're like, all right, well, I want this card. This card's just not going to be great right now, so let's go ahead and let this one go.
Well, I mean, but it has to be at random, so you have to have enough to, you know what I mean? I got what you're saying, but there's
Yeah,
also
I'm
the
just saying if there's a
randomization.
whiff, you could always get rid of the whatever card you put up there.
Yep, very very much.
So,
All
like,
right.
if there's just something you're like, oh, this is only in here for such and such matchup, and this, I don't really need it in this matchup, so
Hey, throw it on the
maybe
bottom.
yeah, but I want to level up next turn. Okay, I'll leave this here and I'll throw it in the material, and if I lose it, I lose it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess having cards you don't care about to throw in your material is just as good. I do agree. Um, so that'll jump us to level 2. Xander, always watching.
Always watching.
Always watching. And this is our
It just
second inherited infect or effect.
it just made me think of the Troy Polamalu commercial. Never not working. Alright, so this inherited effect is as long as Xander is attacking a rested unit, Xander's attacks get +1. He is an assassin. He is waiting for that attack of opportunity, and it is very obvious with his ability. I like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's very flavorful. Like they're doing something else, you get a buff on your attacks as long as it's him attacking.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Again, clean. Like again. I feel like all the designs are very clean and and
Yeah, there's not a
tell a
lot of
well
question.
story. Yeah, it's exactly. There's not like you said. There's just not a lot of questioning what's going on.
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
and
But
and, and they all seem to fit in flavor. Like again, big fan of what they're doing.
all right, do we want to move up to Blinding Steel?
Sure, seems right. Old level 3, and it's going to be Luxem,
Yes.
which I have no idea what Luxem is, but
I feel like
that's
it's the power of light.
that's what they do. They Luxem. What and
He almost looks like he's getting like
sun rays or something? Not sun
yeah, or
rays, but
like almost like a wings, like a cloud wing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know
So
what? I actually dig this because most other fantasy games make assassins dark. And this assassin seems to be, like you said, light. And I think that's cool too. I think that's a good choice. It makes them feel very different. They're
yeah,
yellow and
like
bright. Like Luxem seems like the power of light. Like his armor's white. Like I think it's a cool direction to take the assassin class.
yeah, like He's not like a scary assassin. He's like your friendly neighborhood assassin.
Right, right. He probably bought me a pizza and I was like, "Thank you," and I thanked him for
Yeah,
poisoning me to death. You know,
absolutely. But at least you got pizza.
I probably tipped him. I was like,
Yeah.
"Thank you," and then I go and choke on it. You know, 10 minutes later. You know. Um,
Absolutely.
so what Xander Blinding Steel does is at the beginning of your recollection phase, you may reveal all cards in your memory for each Luxem element. So it is an element. Luxem element card revealed this way. Each opponent puts a card from their hand into their memory. Oh wow. Does that do any? I mean, I guess if it's someone that could answer, or like the wizard when they're might be trying to set up a turn. I mean, I could definitely see why that's good, but I don't think it's good all the time. So again, this is like one of those things: do you put it in the sideboard or do you not run it? Because it seems narrow, but it's
Yeah.
very cool.
But against Rye, who's always very card like it's very card heavy, it's very greedy. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this would be very good against Rye.
Same, same. I do agree. A very cool. I wonder if there is a opportunity to cast cards in response to this, or if because it's in your recollection phase, it may just happen. That's something I wonder.
I mean, I feel like if it's fast, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to ask on one of the chats about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I according to all other games, it would create a layer and there would be a response window. But see, if you give a response window to Rye, does this really do anything? And you know what I mean? That's like one of those things. It's kind of like what's the armor Heart of Ice? Like, yeah, you get to turn it on, and it will make my stuff cost more. And we're talking about in Flesh and Blood, but it makes your stuff cost more as long as it's your turn. My stuff costs more, but but I have a response window where I can just try to go off from that point. Now the point is you still have your hand to block with and all that other stuff with that card, but it creates a layer that allows me to respond to. I wonder if this is the same deal.
Yeah, and I would assume there's probably some things that can happen there,
Me
but
too.
so
Me too.
far we haven't seen anything other than maybe a fast card. Maybe fast cards can be played once something triggers to require a response.
Well, they can. That's what fast is. Fast are instants in this
Yeah.
game. Slows are sorceries. To speak in
Yeah, that's what I
magic
mean. So
terms.
if it's just a matter of if instants can be played during material or if only material.
Exactly.
Like, are you is your material phase only material related and no other cards can be played, or that would be, I guess, the question we'd have to ask.
Right. Which we will. Which we will. But again, throw some questions out there. Maybe someone watches this and knows and could just tell us. If not, we'll figure it out. But these are the things. These are the things that keep me up at night.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so Xander only has, or no, I lied. He has another level 3. Karazi's Chosen.
Oh yeah. On enter, Xander gains stealth and spellbound or spell shroud until the beginning of your next turn. Put a preparation counter on Xander. Uh, and he can't be targeted by spells until the next turn. Is what spell shroud does. It
Right.
clarifies.
And stealth means it can't be targeted by creatures.
Oh, so
So he's
he just
like
points out.
untargetable.
Seems like some kind of like raw powered. God. So sun, yeah, I guess sun. I'm still, yeah.
Yep.
He's
No.
totally a sun,
Yeah,
sun god.
he's a light assassin, and I just dig it. Like it's such a, again, just an awesome way to reimagine an assassin. Um, so yeah, he's basically untargetable for one turn.
Yeah.
But I mean, that sometimes that's just all you need.
Yeah. 25 hit points, so he's gaining hit points, and he gets one turn of immunity. So he can just go nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. That's pretty gross.
Uh,
All right, so now
like,
we're
I'm excited about him, too. I
me
think I'm
too.
just excited about the other two because we haven't got to play them yet, if I'm being completely honest. But
100%.
Tamer has been the one from the beginning that I thought I would want. Even before seeing any of the cards, just because I usually like the illusionist, the summoners, the things of those sorts. So I figured I'd like that type of a thing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited about all of it. Like I'm excited to do a water wizard. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many things that I want to try and mess with going down the line. But now I want to get into the super interesting part of these heroes. Are these alternate heroes?
Tired of looking at all the awesome Grand Archive cards on the internet? Wish there was somewhere you can play with people as excited as you? Well, stop being a sad Sylvie and start being a smiling Zander, because Treasure Hoard Games in the Chicagoland area has got you covered with their first print and play tournament.
And what they mean. So we'll start with Alan, Beast Beckoner. So this is a level 2. And this isn't what is it, Sovi? I'm saying it wrong. What is it?
Yes, Sylvie.
Sylvie. I said Sylvie, but Sylvie. So Alan gets to go on top of a Sylvie level 1. If you notice, it doesn't have a lineage. Without the lineage, this is where it stops. So you can go from Sylvie 1 to Alan level 2, but there is no more level 3 now. Now that could change down the line. This could be opening up other design spaces. But if you decide that this is the type of sideboard you'd like, you can decide to go from level 1 to level 2, turn off level 3, but it also turns off your class's element because you're not going to get that. This is just normal. Which again, I think that's it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know where it lands exactly, but I like the idea of being able to choose different paths. So now you have 3 different paths per hero. One just happens to stop at 2, and again, you'll end as a different hero than what you started with, which is a little weird to me. I think that's the thing that kind of throws me off. Is that you're going to start with Sylvie, and then all of a sudden you're Alan, and then it just kind of stops there. But I do like the flexibility, and again, that just fits into what they said. Endless deck building possibilities, and I feel like they really do give you just so many options. And the way that you build your deck through your material deck throughout the game just gives you such like customization to how the game's gonna go.
Yeah. Well, and this looks for different things. Like, this one looks for harmonies and melodies. Then you gain levels if you have beasts or animals.
Well, yeah. So you glimpse 3, and then you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a harmony or melody, put it in your hand. So as you said, it looks for those. And then as long as you control 2 or more animals or beast allies, it gets +2 levels. So yeah, exactly. It gives you something different. So like I feel like both level 3s of Sylvie are different, and then this is different, but it turns off Terra. If you decide you want to run with Alan, or Alan's the right choice, or even Alan's the deck you're built, maybe you don't put Terra in the deck at all because you're leaning into Alan. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Because, I mean, it does seem like, I mean, you're looking for harmonies and melodies instead of animals and beasts through the deck. But you're also glimpsing 3, which seems like a nice, like...
Oh yeah, Scry 3 is
Seems like a
awesome.
nice on-enter ability. You get to go 3 deep and hopefully find a harmony or a melody.
Sure.
Get to put it in there. You're leveling yourself up 2 levels. So I feel like this is like, okay, I came out the gate strong and I feel like I can kill you. I just need my finisher. And you like throw him in here. You go for the glimpse and you just like speed up and you're trying to just end it now.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess it
I'm
depends on what the harmony and melodies are.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't read those yet, so I'm not sure what they are, to
Right.
be honest.
So they
But
might not
like
be
it just
game
seems
ending is the
different.
only reason I bring that
Yeah.
up.
Well, no, I'm saying this just seems like if you're giving up your 3rd level, I feel like it's one of those like I think I can win it right here. If
Sure.
you're giving away your 3rd level, like I feel like you're doing that because you don't think you need to level up a 3rd time to win. So,
And I semi agree because again, I think you can build a deck directly around Alan and just not put level 3 anything in and just not have Terra cards.
yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? I could
I
be
mean,
what's that?
without going through all of it, I mean, yeah, it could absolutely be a possibility, or it could become a possibility even if it hasn't already. Or we
Right.
could see Alan get a 3rd level evolution in the next release, in the non-Kickstarter release.
No, they already announced that. There's only two unique cards in the entire set. And I think they're both creatures if I remember right.
Okay.
But they did already announce that because they wanted to let people know what Alter Edition was going to be. So it told you the different chase cards. And then, like I said, I think it was only 2. It might have been 2 to 4. We'll say 2 to 4 unique cards that aren't in Kickstarter that are going to be in there. But I do think they were all like characters, like not heroes but characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I really dig these offshoot heroes in general.
Like a little branch in the evolutionary chain there.
Right. So next we'll look at Merlin Memory Thief. This is a mage, so this will be able to go on top of any mage. Right now it's Rye. But again, like you said, this is looking for something completely different. You still get to pump your levels, but you're gonna do it through a different way. You're gonna exhaust Merlin, choose a card from a graveyard and banish it. If that card has floating memory, put a level counter on Merlin.
Yep. So then you're just going through and going straight fire, and you're
Right.
running a whole bunch of floating memory stuff to banish or to remove, and yeah, and just
And then yeah, you'll get your discounts for your burn or something like that, or water. Again, I don't know what water really does. And I only know so many wind cards. So like I feel like each element can probably fit here. But I agree with you. I thought fire is the most obvious.
Yeah.
Because they have spells that are like deal, your level +2 to whatever.
Yep.
And yeah, and this is kind of the way you do it. Plus, you slow down your opponent by taking their floating memory cards. Like maybe they were counting on using a floating memory card, you take it, and now their hand becomes a little shittier. You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm curious who Alan the Beast Beckoner is, because I've heard of Merlin. Tristan and Mordred are also from the fantasies of Avalon.
Oh, okay. Cool. Something I
But
didn't
I
know.
I don't know who this Alan Beastbeckener is. I wonder if that's maybe the creator of the game or something. Because I've
Um,
never heard of it. Maybe it is a fictional legendary character I just don't know of, but I've never heard of Alan, but I've heard of the other three.
that's fair. I've never heard of any of them, so that's actually kind of cool that they are from directly from something.
Well, I mean, King Arthur and Merlin,
Well,
and
Merlin, yeah, Merlin for sure.
Mordred was the person who eventually kills King Arthur. Tristan and Leopold, or Tristan and Leopold, Tristan and Isolde. I think Tristan ends up becoming one of the Knights of the Round Table.
Okay, okay.
I just don't know of this Alan, the Beast Beckoner.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it's a great question.
If
That's
anybody
fair.
out there knows, please let us know in the comments. I'd love to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to know too. I like I said, I actually didn't place these in the way you did, so that's actually cool to me. Just what you said was cool to me. So we're gonna go to Mordred, Flawless Blade, and this is the Warriors' alternate hero. And it says attack cards in your graveyard have floating memory. Boom. So now you're able to pay through stuff a lot faster. Wow, that's actually
Well, at
really
that
sweet.
point, then, yeah, you're gonna. He must have some like really expensive swords. There must be some expensive generic swords or something because
Well,
I
there's
don't know what the value of that would be other than. I mean, anything is better, not having to lose cards from your hand, I guess. So
well
that
Warrior
makes anything better.
Warrior has cards that are direct attacks also. Like their Savage Slash, I think I've used in Lorraine's deck, where it's just deal 2 damage. Lorraine deals that damage. So that's
Yeah.
an attack card that would have floating memory with Mordred. You see what I mean? So like,
Oh yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I mean, that would be amazing, just not having to lose cards from your hand for sure. But I'm just thinking, like, okay, well, everything now has floating memory, but the most expensive card in most material decks, you've cut off the lineage for.
well, no, the material decks don't have a lineage.
Well, no, I'm saying like the level 3 hero. That was the only thing that I saw in the material deck that costs more than. Well, I guess I'm starting to see some twos. I'm just doing a quick scroll through without actually reading anything, but so I guess the reduction's kind of nice too, but not losing cards from your hand just immensely valuable in
Yeah,
itself.
100%. I got what you're saying now. Yeah, just being able to always pick up your memory
Yeah.
is super
Yeah,
cool.
that part's great, but the biggest perk of being able to, you know, buy a huge thing from your graveyard instead of from your memory and still keeping your cards is a tiny bit lost because of the fact that you lose your third evolution, and that's typically going to be the most expensive card in your material deck, I feel like. I haven't seen a 3 yet. I scrolled about 10
Yeah,
lines down,
it
but
seems
I
like
haven't
level
seen
3
any.
heroes are the threes, and most things
Yeah,
are
it
2 or
doesn't seem like
less.
anything else is that. Yeah, that was what I was seeing as well. So I mean, you still get the benefit of that as well, but you've cut off your biggest card. But if you run a couple really expensive swords, that doesn't take much. But the only two sword that I've seen is the crux.
Oh, right. Got you. Yeah, I mean,
So
sure. But again, that comes down to deck building construction too. And are you leaning into this, or is this a secondary? Like, are you using this to branch off, or are you building your deck around it? And like that all matters in all the questions I feel we're asking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because maybe you don't have the more expensive. Maybe there are a bunch of more expensive stuff through the set, but maybe you're never running them because of
Okay,
the path you're choosing.
I found one. I'm just gonna say what it is. So this seems like this sword is actually made for that hero. You can only pay for this using floating memory.
Yep, that seems right.
Um, it's got a class bonus, so if you're a warrior, you get +1. It costs 3, so you'd have to be able to pay 3, all from floating memory to be able to cast it. But it's got 3 attack with 3 durability on it, so that's just gonna be just slaying everything. That kills most of the creatures we've seen so far.
Yeah, from what we know, that kills everything but like one knight.
Yeah. I mean, that one knight can't be the biggest creature in the game. I can't imagine that there's not going to be some beasts and
not with
some
Sylvie.
like generals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
overall, yeah, like that's a heavy hit. So maybe you're just like, okay, I've played 5 attack actions this game. Screw it, I'm gonna play this and throw that sword in and just start smashing. Maybe I can kill you before you level up.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. But again, like that takes up a slot. Like, what do you give it up for if that's not your direct plan? Like, these are all like a lot of questions I
Oh yeah, because I've gone at least 15 rows down, and it still seems like it's all stuff for there. But like, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of different alternatives in each character slot. So you're gonna probably pick, this or that, but
right.
like the big sideboard things seem to be the water, the wind, and the fire baubles. Where those are, very, very sideboardy. And we've seen 2 of those just from the starter deck, so I just gotta assume that the other one probably exists.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I'm super excited to actually play the game. Now that we're starting to see people's stores getting the demo decks and getting stuff in,
Yes.
I would like to see if anybody near us is supporting this game. Maybe we can get lucky and find like a pre-release or something.
Yeah, that'd be real good. Speaking of which, I'm gonna put a little plug in the front, but Treasure Hoard Games in Chicago, our sponsor, is running a tournament at the end of the month that I'm gonna plug before this video starts. But we got one more hero to talk about before we end this, and that's Tristan Grimstalker.
Yeah.
Tristan Grimstalker, and this is the assassin alternate. And this is on ally hit. You may remove 3 preparation counters from Tristan. If you do, destroy the hit ally. So it gives a death touch. At the beginning of your end phase, if Tristan is awake, put a preparation counter on Tristan. So basically, it's just a way to take a small dagger. It seems like a weapon that hits for 1, or something smaller than what it is, and allows you to give temporary death touch for the turn, and then you have to prepare again. And after you're prepared, you get death touch again. So I could definitely see this coming into play in like the Tamer, because like you said, I believe there'll be big beasts in the Tamer deck.
Yeah, so this one definitely more so than, other than maybe Mordred, who we saw that there's at least one sword specifically for him. Like, Tristan seems like a legitimate split off.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, this one really seems to stand out as probably the best of the level 2s
I kind of
as a
think so too. I think so too.
as like a path. Like, I feel like that one's path stands up to the fact that it never gets its third boost for hit points. So
I agree wholeheartedly. I think she seems very strong. Like you said, a good path if you're trying to choose this path. My question is there a way to get preparation counters faster? I guess we'll see.
well, I believe the level 1 also gives prep
Yeah, I believe it did
counter.
too. But again, you use it once, and now it's going to take you 3 turns to get it back if there's no other way to do it,
Yeah.
which is very slow. But
Well, I mean, she gets, if she doesn't, at the end of each phase, she gets one as long as she's still awake.
no, it's at the beginning of your phase, not each.
Yeah.
So you don't get one.
Okay.
You don't get one on mine. So again, it's 3 turns. If you
Yeah.
don't use her, it takes 3 turns to give her death touch. Then you have to go to attacking the creature and all that, which is easy. But again, if there's no other way to get the preparation counters, it's gonna take 3 turns after your initial one, because I do think the first assassin comes in and gives 2 preparation counters. So 1 turn later, Tristan would be able to attack and kill anything. But then it's vulnerable for 3 turns.
Yeah. So this is probably one where, I mean, we've seen that the enlightened counters have cards that are specifically made to generate tokens. So we likely you're gonna have the same thing for prep. So probably you start off with a hand that gives you 3 or 4 preparation tokens. Maybe you're playing against somebody who's got a whole bunch of allies.
Right.
You're like, all right, screw it. I'm going this path, and I'm just gonna start slaying some beasties.
Excuse me. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but that does it for the heroes. Do you have any last thoughts on the game in general?
I just can't wait to get to play the full thing.
Same.
I'm very excited about it. The more I see it, the more I read up on it, the more I'm just excited to finally get the cards and play. And I bought a box to put on the shelf, and I'll probably have it open before I get it home.
Yeah, dude, I know, dude. I don't know what. I'm the same way, man. I'm pumped about it. And for me, and I think this goes for you too, but I don't want to speak for you. I'm not an anime fan like at all. Like
No.
it like there's a few I enjoy. It's not that I don't like it, but like they're not. I don't sit and watch anime weekly, and I am completely sold on the game. The game is legit fun, and I think I think the mechanics are very good. And I get, like you said, I'm very excited for the game. I'm very excited to get my hands on it and actually play it, and get into it. But again, this is from somebody that's not a weeb and not getting sucked in because of the art style and stuff. Like, I think the art's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying anything like that. But what I'm saying is I'm not directly drawn to it because it has, anime-esque art. I'm legit like falling in love with the game and mechanics.
Yeah, me too. And I'm the same way. I've never really been a big anime fan. I've had a few myself, like Trigun, that was probably my favorite one that I ever watched. But overall, yeah, I wasn't huge on a lot of animes. And I'm the same way. Somebody referred us to the game because they know we play a lot of different games, and you did the Kickstarter thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kind of piggybacked on yours and threw in on it to get a box and some decks and try to play it. But the more we've played it, the more I enjoy it. I'm very excited to play it. I hope that we can get our hands on some second printing stuff or whatever it is.
Yeah. I think that'll actually be easy. I think
The retail.
Yeah, I mean, we got to wait 2 months after we get the Kickstarter.
Oh, it's not going to survive 2 months.
Yeah, but in 2 months from there, I think it's in April. That gets released, and I think that should be fairly readily available. I believe they said it's reprintable, and for X years, kind of like any kind of other printing. They're going to print it until it's there's no demand. And yeah, other than that, man, like I guess that's it. I guess we can end this here. I'm super excited. It's coming out soon. And yeah, like I said, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to get these cards in my hand and actually start playing some stuff.
Same. But all right,
But
guys, I would like to thank you guys for hanging out with us and talking over these heroes. We actually put in an hour and a half of talk on these heroes. We actually got pretty down, dude.
yeah, I really do like. I do like the game. I'm excited. I can't wait to actually get going with it.
Yep, same. But yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you guys. Thank you guys for being the best community in gaming. And I'm Vince.
Um,
And we'll
Peace.
catch you guys next time.